Demon Slayer Infinity Castle doesn't just continue the story, it takes the franchise and anime movies to the next level. The fights, the emotions, the spectacle. This is the movie that Demon Slayer fans have been waiting for. But here's the real question. Is this really the peak of what Demon Slayer can do, or was it missing a little something? Wait till the end of the review to find out. I'm Zach, I talk about movies every week, and today we're going to be diving into my Demon Slayer Infinity Castle review, a movie that doesn't just raise the stakes but shatters it. The animation? Absolutely next level. Demon Slayer just put 90% of anime movies to shame. Bright colors, fluid motion, fight choreography that looks like it belongs in a blockbuster IMAX release. You need to see this in the theater on the biggest screen possible with the best sound that you can find. And this might be the start of the best arc in the franchise so far, but what's your favorite arc of Demon Slayer so far? Drop in the comments down below and let me know. And while the spectacle is really great in this film, where the movie really impressed me was in its storytelling. The movie has a lot of flashbacks, and some of the flashbacks here are some of the best flashbacks I've seen in any anime movie or any movie period. There's one flashback so powerful that it could have been its own movie, its own series, no joke. But here's the drawback. As much as I loved it, it runs a little long. It's gonna hurt rewatchability and replay value of the film. And stick around, I'll explain why this matters. Another impressive and next level thing that this film does versus what other anime movies do, and some movies period, and when it comes to long franchises, is that even if you're not a fan of the franchise, or even if you've never seen the show at all, it has enough context in it that you can follow along and get emotionally invested. Yes, it is 2 hours and 48 minutes, but the casual viewer can still feel the impact of everything that's happening with all the stakes and how emotional the movie gets. And what really helps is that the pacing is tight. Between the blistering fight scenes, the emotional quiet beats, and even some classic Demon Slayer humor, you never feel checked out. And for the fans of it that's been on this long journey, the stakes are higher than ever. You feel like no one is safe. And one thing that this movie does that maybe other anime movies don't do is that everyone gets their shine. That is probably part of the main story in this one, and they get some serious character growth. Tanjiro, Zenitsu, all the Hashira, they're pushed to their limits. But for me, Gyu stole the show. But with a movie this crowded, of course things are going to be left out, and one of my only small gripes with the film is that Nezuko, who's been the heart of the franchise so far, was basically left out of the movie and pushed to the sidelines. I get that this is part one of a trilogy and not every single character in the franchise is going to be highlighted in a way that some are, but it really felt like I was lacking a little bit of something in there when she wasn't involved in all the action. But for you, who stole the show? Who was your favorite character? Who's wowed you completely? Here's another thing that makes Infinity Castle special and takes it to the next level. This doesn't feel like a movie that's just made for fans, which a lot of anime movies feel like. It feels like a blockbuster mainstream release. I have friends that never seen the anime but wanted to watch this movie because all the hype, and walked out with tears in their eyes and emotionally invested in everything that was going on with his characters because the storytelling is that good. Infinity Castle does for Demon Slayer what Mugen Train did, but much bigger. This movie sits along recent anime movie releases like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero and Dragon Ball Super Broly and Superhero, but feels much bigger. Even surpassing them in an emotional weight, showing that anime is here to stay in America and it's kind of taken over, and I'm here for it. I screamed at some of the deaths, I roared at so many special moments my favorite characters had, teared up at the emotionally investing backstories that they gave us right before these insane, intense fights. This was a roller coaster of emotions that anime or any movie ever really delivers. But like I mentioned earlier in the review, there is a flashback, a long flashback that's like the last 30-40 minutes of the movie that makes the film stumble just a tad bit. The flashback is gorgeous, it's powerful, but it feels a little self-indulgent. When we really got the point of what it was trying to give us, it kept going and going. I had some friends that even said that it felt like it dragged. It made you actually feel like the movie stopped, and all the pacing that made the full movie not feel long made it feel like it was now 3-4 hours long because of how long this flashback was, and we really wanted to get back to the fight. So while Infinity Castle is visually insane, emotionally devastating, and narratively ambitious, it's not flawless. For me, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle gets a solid B+. brutal, emotional, and absolutely next level. Now for you, I want to know, what would you grade Infinity Castle if you got the chance to see it? And if you love this review, go check out my review for The Long Walk, another brutal story. I did a non-spoiler review if you haven't seen the film, and if you have seen the film, I actually did a spoiler review on my live stream, which I'm going to link at the end of this video, and also did a spoiler review for Demon Slayer Infinity Castle if you want to get into that. So I'll see you next time, and watch more of my stuff right now.